The shack smelled of dust, blood, and cold soup. She sat on the floor with her back against the wall, knees pulled tight to her chest, rocking like a broken clock. 3 years of fists had taught her how to be quiet. Every sound was danger. The door creaked behind her and she flinched, arms rising to shield her face. Her husband's boots scraped across the wooden planks, slow, deliberate. He liked to make her wait. Her cheek throbbed from the last strike, a deep purple bloom spreading beneath her eye. She stared at the cracks in the floor, counting them, anything to stay inside her head and away from what was coming. He dropped his belt on the table, the metal buckle ringing like a gunshot. She trembled. "You worthless thing," he spat. She didn't answer. She never did anymore. Silence was safer. The belt whipped through the air, and she gasped as pain exploded across her back. Tears burned her eyes but she refused to scream. Screams only made it worse. Outside, the wind howled across the prairie, uncaring. Inside, her world was shrinking, closing in, crushing her spirit inch by inch. She wondered if this was all life would ever be. The next morning, she limped to the water pump, bruises hidden beneath a threadbare shawl. The town was quiet, but she could feel eyes on her, people pretending not to notice. Shame wrapped around her tighter than the cold. As she filled her bucket, a shadow fell across the ground. She looked up and froze. A stranger stood there, tall, dust-covered, a worn hat pulled low over steady eyes. A cowboy. He studied her face, not like others did, not curious, not cruel, just concerned. "Ma'am," he said softly, "you all right?" The kindness in his voice startled her more than any shout ever had. She shook her head without meaning to, tears spilling before she could stop them. He noticed the bruise, the way she favored one leg. His jaw tightened. "Who did this?" he asked. She glanced back toward the shack, fear flooding her. "Doesn't matter," she whispered. "It's my fault." The words tasted like lies, but she'd said them so long they felt real. The cowboy knelt slightly so they were eye level. "No," he said, "it ain't." Something inside her cracked. No one had ever said that before. Before she could speak, her husband shouted from the porch. The cowboy slowly stood, hand near his belt, eyes never leaving the man. Her husband stormed forward, chest puffed out. "What you want, drifter?" he sneered. The cowboy didn't flinch. "Just passing through," he replied. "But I don't pass by when I see a woman hurt." The air went still. Her husband laughed, sharp and ugly. "She's mine. I do what I want." The cowboy's eyes darkened. "No man owns another human." The words hung heavy, like a challenge. Her husband reached for his knife. In one smooth motion, the cowboy drew his gun and aimed it low. "Don't," he warned. "I don't want trouble, but I'll end it if you force me." She gasped, heart pounding. Nobody had ever stood up to him. Not like this. The husband hesitated, fear flickering across his face. The cowboy didn't blink. Slowly, the knife dropped to the dirt. "Good choice," the cowboy said. He lowered his gun but didn't holster it. "You lay another hand on her, I'll be back. And next time, I won't warn you." He turned to her. "Pack your things," he said gently. "You're coming with me." Her husband shouted, cursed, but the cowboy stepped between them. For the first time in 3 years, she felt safe enough to stand tall. She left with only a small bundle, hands shaking, heart racing. As they rode away, the shack grew smaller behind them, like a bad dream finally fading. The wind dried her tears. She watched the horizon, unsure what waited there, but knowing it had to be better than what she left. "You didn't have to help me," she whispered. The cowboy glanced at her. "Yeah," he said, "I did." They rode in silence for a while. Then he spoke. "You're free now." The word hit her hard. Free. She tasted it, tried to believe it. Her shoulders slowly relaxed, like they were unlearning years of fear. She felt the sun on her face, warm and real. "Thank you," she said, voice breaking. He nodded. "You'll find your strength again. It ain't gone, just buried." She smiled weakly. For the first time in years, hope didn't feel dangerous. As the trail stretched ahead, she realized the pain had not won. 3 years had tried to break her. But one knock at the door, one cowboy with a steady heart, had changed everything.